Microphone should be working now. Can you hear me okay now? Yay, everybody's coming in again. Sorry about that. I'm not sure what happened, but I see you all, so I'll give you a few seconds to arrive to our live stream. And I'm not sure what happened there, but well, hopefully you can hear me now. Yes? Oh, very good. Great now. That's good. Thank you. So namaste, everyone. I'll take a few seconds to start this class to allow everyone to join us here again. My name is Octavia Nasr, and this is Yin Yoga, the Sunday edition. I usually teach this very class at 3 p.m. in Brookhaven in Georgia. So welcome to all of you who are joining me from truly from all over the world. I saw Bulgaria earlier, and I'm hoping that you made it here as well. And I know some of my regular students are here, so namaste. Good, good, good. I'm watching you kind of filing in, so that's good. Welcome to class. Today's class, the theme is renewal, and usually I'm very inspired by nature. I think nature teaches us so many lessons if we only pay attention. And one of the most important lessons, I think, is the cycle of life. So it's kind of wonderful to watch. Hello, everyone. I'm watching you come in. Very good. Thank you for also checking in, messaging me to let me know that everything is okay. You can hear me and see me well. So nature, the cycle of life is very, very important as we understand it in nature. So when we talk about renewal, it's such a beautiful theme, and nature teaches us that very, very well. So renewal doesn't just happen. Renewal is not constant, but it's also cyclical. It comes back. So we go through cycles. We have cycles of sort of hanging in space, taking it easy, cycles where it's busy, heat, a lot of movement, a lot of activity, not just in our life, but in our inner world, in our thoughts as well. So renewal is an important theme, I thought, today. Some people are celebrating Easter, others Passover, others spring, the arrival of spring, the beginning of spring. So whatever it is that you're celebrating, we're also in quarantine still. So I feel that this is a good time to observe what happened in our bodies and our mind as we retreated, as we took that step back or several steps back and stayed at home for a while. And it looks like what we did is really helping the universe. So that's a very good thing. So now the renewal is ready, right? So maybe we can start thinking about what was renewed in our life. The poses today are going to be very much a theme, the closing in, the settling in, and then the renewal, the opening, the awakening, if you will, the burgeoning. So whatever, theme you want to take for your practice, try to take it from nature, a flower, a tree, season, and also apply it to your life. So it looks like most everybody is back in. I'm seeing that some of you are still arriving, telling me you just got this. Yeah, we had a technical issue, lost the audio for a second, so we had to relaunch. So welcome to everyone again. Let's come to a comfortable seat. It looks like we can start the practice now. So come to your comfortable seat. You can sit cross-legged. I'm sitting on my heels. You can't see me, but I am sitting on my heels. And we'll take a few seconds to set an intention for the practice. Now that you know what my intention is, renewal for this practice, set your intention. I am going to be chanting a mantra in the beginning and at the end of the practice. And this mantra is about coming from fullness, coming from being complete, being whole, and allowing the self to feel full, because once we feel full, there's nothing but fullness to give, and there's nothing but fullness to receive. So allow yourself to come to your comfortable seat. Close your eyes if possible. Otherwise, simply look down towards, the floor in front of you, a few feet in front of you. Allow yourself to focus on your breath, on the nostrils. Breath in and out through the nostrils, and maybe you can follow the breath inward to the nasal cavity, down to the heart center, to the belly, to the tailbone. So take all the time you need to feel your breath, to focus on your breath. Take all the time you need to arrive in your own body, in your own container, your own vehicle, as you prepare yourself to launch into a renewal. Let's take a deep inhale together through the nostrils and exhale fully, maybe through the mouth with an audible exhale, simply letting go. And one more deep inhale through the nostrils, fill up the whole body, feel the body expand, allow the body to expand with the inhale, and exhale again through the mouth if possible with an audible sigh. And let's do this one more time. Deep inhale and exhale it all out through the mouth with an audible sigh. You're welcome to chant 3 Ohms with me before I chant the mantra. Let's inhale for 3 Ohms. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And with your next inhale, blink the eyes open, return to the space. We're starting in child's pose today. So come to your mat and use the bolster or the pillow. Place it in front of you like this. Your blankets, we're going to fold them into 2 rectangles like this and use them as pillows or bolsters as well. Separate your knees as wide as your pillow, big toes touching like this. And from here, lower down to your child's pose. So when you lower down to your child's pose, you want to make a pillow out of your hands or forearms. You can place your forearms on the blanket like this. You want to start releasing all effort here, allowing yourself. It's very intentional to start our practice in child's pose today. So we're starting in surrender. We're starting in a place of total surrender, total being. Forehead on your hands or on your forearms or on the blanket, or if you're using a block, whatever you have here. And let your torso rest on top of the bolster or the pillow. And of course, you can do all this without props. Props are only optional. They add to the practice. They make it deeper. But in no way do we want to make this practice a restorative practice. There's a big difference between yin and restorative. In yin, we're searching, we're seeking a sensation. That's the most important thing in yin. That's what we call the edge. So you want to come to that place where you're feeling, in this case, it's a deep stretch in the back, starting from the lower back. It's also a stretch of the glutes and the thighs, the groin, the quads, the hip flexors. It is also a compression of the hip bones where the femur and your hip sockets meet. So that's an external rotation of the femur, allowing you to feel, to get in touch with the hip socket and how the femur sits in the hip socket. So for some people, it's going to be really easy to separate the knees. That's the compression in the outer hips, and the stretch in the inner thighs. That's the groin muscles. For others, this is going to be very difficult. So you choose, you take your time feeling and understanding where your child's pose is. You can take it all the way to something like this with the knees together and your torso resting on top of the thighs like this. So no one says that in child's pose, there's one child's pose for everybody. That's not true. As a matter of fact, there is a child's pose for each and every one of us. We're unique. And as such, our practice is unique as well. So Yin Yoga then is about that edge. It's about coming to that place where I feel the sensation in the places that I need to feel them. In this case, like I said, the lower back mainly. But if you tuck your chin into the chest, you'll feel that stretch from the tailbone all the way up to your neck, crossing the tailbone, the coccyx, the sacrum, the lumbar spine, the thoracic spine, the cervical spine, the neck, the back of the head. So you can, depending on where you are in the pose, you can feel that stretch throughout your spine, all the way to the crown of the head, maybe even in your forehead. And you come to an edge that is appropriate for you. That's very important. I want you to keep that in mind. An edge that is appropriate for you, not appropriate for me or your other teachers or your friends or the people practicing with you if you're practicing in group. And once you find that edge, once you say, this is it, in this place, I'm feeling the stretch, I'm feeling the compression, I'm feeling the tension, but I'm not hurting myself, I'm not in a place of injury, then you release all your muscles, then you stay a while. So far, you've been in the pose almost 5 minutes, so we're coming to the end of this pose. And then when you come out of the pose, you come out of it very, very gently. So start taking a deep inhale through the nostrils. Exhale it all out. One more. Inhale deeply and exhale. Release the pose. So come out of your child's pose and We won't rebound. We're going to go to a counter pose. So you're going to, if you're using the blankets like this, right, we're going to place the pillow or the bolster on top of the blanket, of the blankets. And you're going to turn around, and we're going to do sort of the same thing, except we're going to be bending backwards. So again, big toes touching, knees apart. Come as close to your pillow or bolster as possible. Place your elbows and forearms here. And simply let your head dangle if that's comfortable. Those of you who would like to take this to a supported saddle, you just release your torso, you release your back onto this bolster or blanket or whatever you have here that you're releasing your torso onto. Arms by side. If the knees are giving you a hard time, if this is too much on the knees, if this is too much on the quads, you should feel a very deep quad stretch here. Your hip flexors are stretched. Also, your groin is stretched. If this is too much, feel free to release the legs. You don't have to keep the knees bent at all. But go back to this, allow the back to bend. And if this is where you are, if the legs are straight in front of you, go ahead and release your back onto this setup that you have here. And again, we're going to be here for about 5 minutes. You can keep your legs straight. You can take the legs in butterfly, so soles of the feet together, knees apart. Again, that will give you that groin stretch. Enjoy it. It's again that compression here. It's just a little bit different from where you are. So choose whatever you choose for yourself. And if you noticed, we started in child's pose, so we're totally rounded, we're totally closed onto ourselves. And then from there, we came to that full heart opening, right? Now you see the frontal body is stretched, the back side of the body is compressed now, the very opposite of where we were. So that's where the renewal is going to happen. We're going to let the body close in first. We're going to regroup, allow the body to come to a total retreat in a forward bend. And then from there, we're going to open up and come to this renewal. And we're going to repeat the same pattern over and over again throughout the practice. So for now, allow yourself to be in this heart opener. Allow your body to feel that renewal. Every time we pull 2 points apart, that gives us a stretch, that gives us a tension. Just like in life, when we're pulled in 2 different directions, we're under stress. So stress is not necessarily a bad thing. It's a bad thing if it's on the whole time, then we'll break. But a little bit of stress, a little bit of tension gives us the opportunity to release a little bit more. That's why sometimes you say squeeze all your muscles in, squeeze, and then release, squeeze and release, because the tension is a good conduit. It's a good way to come to that stillness, to come to that release. The tension is also a reminder of where we're holding tension. It's a reminder of the stress that we're under. It's also a reminder of the importance of releasing that stress. So Yin Yoga is a perfect place, a perfect practice to show us what stress, what tension can do to our body. So here is an opportunity to observe. It's an opportunity to watch, witness the transformation within you. And as we journey inward in this practice, you'll start noticing that you're shedding, that this physical body, this outside body, is only a container. But in this container, we have all the senses, we have all the indriyas, all the stimuli. So through this body, our mind is constantly having to deal, having to react to the senses. So in the withdrawal, what I'm inviting you to do when you withdraw is to also release, let go of the senses. Take a deep inhale through the nostrils and exhale. One more, inhale, exhale, release the pose. So come out of the pose very, very gently, very slowly. And now keep your blankets where they are. And then we're going to come to you're going to lie down on your side. So let's lie down on the left side first, coming to a fetal pose. So lie down on your side like this. Keep the bolster handy for now. You might even want to place it between your legs like this. And then from here, go ahead and tuck your chin into the chest, round the neck. Bring your knees as close to your heart as possible. So if you're hugging the bolster, hug the bolster tightly. If you're hugging your knees, hug the knees tightly. So this is what this is. And feel that rounding, feel that stretch in the back of your spine. If the blankets are comfortable, that's good. Keep your head here. If you're not comfortable on the blankets, you can remove them and place a block here, whatever you want. But round, 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 feel like a fetus. Feel how difficult it is now to breathe because we're retreating. We're not used to this. We're used to opening the chest and taking in the breath very comfortably. Now feel this and adapt to it, adjust to it as we prepare for the opening. So this is where you're going to start understanding the theme of nature. Nature doesn't just bloom, right? Nature goes through a process, a transformational process, and nature is patient, and nature is beautiful in all its cycles. Nature doesn't stop and say, oh, I don't look too good today. I don't think I'm going to, open my flowers. Or, I think I'm going to skip raining today. Nature doesn't do that. Nature just goes with the flow. Whatever the flow, whatever is going on, including stuff that we do to it, it reacts. So for now, allow yourself to be right here, rounding the entire spine. Tuck your chin into the spine a little bit more. Maybe bring your knees closer to your heart. I was reading a quote that caught my attention that I loved, actually, from Darwin. When we talk about evolution and the very famous quote, the survival of the fittest. And the quote is from Charles Darwin explaining that the fittest is not the strongest. The fittest is not the one with more muscles, the one with, what is the fittest? He said the fittest is the one who can adapt. And this is what I'm inviting you to do. And this is what Yin Yoga offers us. So you come to a place that is uncomfortable. We know that these poses are not comfortable. They're not meant to be comfortable, but they are very good for you. So how well you adapt to the pose, how well you allow yourself to find an edge without harming yourself, that's how you're going to survive. That's how you're going to be the fittest. The fittest for you, not the fittest for me. So you might do something that is totally different from what I do. That's okay. That's perfectly fine. But the most important thing is to adapt. how well we adapt. And can we adapt to discomfort, and in the discomfort, prepare ourselves for the renewal, for the revival? And can we prepare ourselves so that when the time comes to bloom, to open up, to shine, we're not kind of left behind, right? So this is our practice today. And now we're starting to get deeper and deeper into the practice. So for now, you should be feeling that the body has opened up. We did already a forward bend and a back bend. And now you're in the child's pose, about to twist. So take a deep inhale through the nostrils here and exhale. And one more deep inhale and exhale. And I want you to start feeling like you're blooming. I want you to start feeling that you are opening yourself up. As you release this pose, I want you to don't change anything about your fetal pose other than stretch your right arm up towards the ceiling, lengthen that right arm, bring your right shoulder to the floor by your right side, stretch your right arm by your side, left hand on your right knee, turn your gaze and look at your right hand. And if you can, cross your right knee over the left, bringing the right knee to the floor. Those of you who can and want to, will take this to a cat tail pose. So cat tail, you need to move your left leg to the right a little bit more. Reach with the right hand and grab your left foot. And still bring both shoulders to the floor. Or if you're using the blankets like I am, it's okay to let your head and shoulders rest on the blanket. But now 5 minutes in this pose. Now feel that opening of the heart. Feel the opening of the chest. Breathe in fully. Allow the breath to travel through the body. So don't let the breath stop here at the nostrils or at the nasal cavity or at the throat. Allow the breath to go in. And maybe you can watch the breath as it adapts to this twist that your spine is in, your torso is in. So you still have a pretty deep squeeze in the torso here because of this twist. You're twisted if you're looking to the right, you're twisted at the cervical spine, also the thoracic spine and the lumbar spine. You're also twisting in the sacrum and the coccyx, the tailbone. So your whole spine, if you close your eyes, you'll be able to see how torn it is. So you want to breathe through that. And again, to use nature as a teacher, picture your breath as a river running through your body. And all the obstacles that the body is causing because of the posture, because of the asana you're in. And allow the breath to flow through, to adapt to the changes, to the obstacles, to the turns and twists in your body. So this practice of Yin Yoga is a beautiful practice, mainly because it leads you inward. It shows you the way. And by now, you should be pretty deep into your practice. By now, you should be feeling that maybe you're looking from inside, you're looking out and seeing your body, observing the body, witnessing what the body is doing. And again, thinking about nature. Imagine, if you will, the ocean. And how the ocean on the surface is moving. You might have waves, small or big, depending on the weather, depending on the wind. You might have movement right under the waves. But deep, deep down at the bottom of the ocean is very little movement, maybe even stillness. So imagine yourself getting deeper and deeper into your own ocean, coming to the edge, coming to the bottom of the ocean, and looking back at your own body, looking back at your own mind. You can see the modifications of your mind. You can see the busyness of your mind, the thought process. But you're not moved, you're not changed, you're not responding to that. And this is the beauty of yoga, and this is the beauty of Yin Yoga, because it gets us to that state by simply doing the poses, by simply following the pattern, following the path. So prepare to come out of this pose, and when you come out of it, you're gonna return to your back and then prepare for fetal pose on the other side. Take a deep inhale. Exhale all of it out. One more deep inhale. And exhale. And release this pose. Return to your back. Hug your knees to your chest a little bit if you want. Realign your spine a little bit and prepare for the other side. So remember how we were on the left side, now we're on the right side. Bring your knees to your chest. Give those knees a big hug. Round your back, tuck the chin in. Let the body squeeze as much as possible. So squeeze those knees. You want them as close to your chest as possible. Then hug them and squeeze them in to round the back a lot. So you are, in effect, you are putting yourself in an uncomfortable pose. In Yin Yoga, we acknowledge that. And not only do we acknowledge that, we appreciate that. Because in Yin Yoga, we learn that it's in this discomfort that we're going to bring the healing. It's the discomfort that's going to help us release. It's the tension that's going to help us let go. So we come to a place at the end of practice where we don't need to squeeze anymore. We don't need to do anything anymore because we're so deep within ourselves already. We're at that place where we're at the bottom of our ocean, looking back, watching, observing, witnessing, but we're not attached anymore. We're not reacting anymore. We're able to observe and witness and do nothing about it. We don't have any emotions about it. We don't think it's good or bad. No reaction. And it's that stillness that we seek. That's the yoga that we're aiming for. That's the yoga that we want. It's that union of the physical self and the cosmic self, the universal self. The lowercase s self with the capital S self, where we see it, we acknowledge it, but we don't react. So again, this is your opportunity to prepare the self for renewal. This is your opportunity to observe where you're at in the process. To observe where you're at in the process of life and its cycles. And also to be okay with whatever is there. To even be content with whatever is there. In other words, to adapt. You still have about a minute in this fetal pose. After the fetal pose, we're going to be twisting. So if you have room to tuck your chin in a little bit more, to feel that stretch in the back of your neck a little bit more, go ahead and do that. If you're able to squeeze the knees a little bit closer to your chest, go ahead and do that. Knowing very well that you're about to release. So enjoy the last few moments of discomfort before you release. And go ahead and take a deep inhale through the nostrils. Exhale all of it out. And one more, deep inhale. And exhale. And remember that when we release, we're simply going to stretch your left arm up to the ceiling. So release. Left arm up to the ceiling. And then drop your left arm by your side. Right hand on top of the left knee. And move that left knee over to the right, bringing it to the floor or the blanket or the bolster. And move your right leg back behind you a little bit before you reach with your left hand and grab the right foot and still bring both shoulders back to the floor, cattail. And once more, allow this journey to begin. Every posture is a new journey. Every posture in Yin Yoga is going to take you to a newer depth. And if you close your eyes, just closing the eyes, more than 70% of stimulation comes from our eyesight. So imagine what happens when you close your eyes. You shut down, you close the curtain, you close the window. Allow yourself to observe that stillness. It's like entering a void when you close your eyes. So it's important to be aware. It's important to be aware of your surrounding, aware of your body, aware of where you're at in your practice and also in your thoughts and in your energy. Because if you don't trust yourself first, you'll never be able to close your eyes. You'll never be able to enter that space. You'll never be able to enter that void. It's scary when you think about it. A lot of people don't want to go inward. A lot of people don't want to observe what's happening inside for a good reason. Some people think that through yoga we find peace and quiet and all that. We do. That is very true. But on the way to peace and quiet, it's a process. We have to go through a lot of stuff. A lot of it is not pleasant. It's not pretty. So that journey inward, I'm inviting you to take a journey inward with me and all that, and that's wonderful, but you have to trust yourself first. You have to trust the process first. So being aware of your surroundings, knowing that you're safe, knowing that you're on your bed or on your floor, on your mat, on your blanket, knowing where you're at is very, very important. Placing yourself in a position that is safe is very, very important. Allowing the body to let go of its tension, that's a first step. Closing the eyes, that's trusting. Allowing yourself to go deep within yourself. Whatever comes up, you're safe. It might be unpleasant. Memories might show up, pictures, people, actions. As long as you come to the bottom of your ocean and you observe, like you're watching a movie, the movie of your life, the movie of your thoughts. But no attachment, no judgment. Adapting, going through like a river, running through. Adjusting as life asks you to, all the time. And eventually, you'll find that peace. You'll find that quiet. So enjoy the journey. Enjoy the process. And I know you are. That's why you're here. And take a deep inhale through the nostrils and exhale all of it out. One more deep inhale and exhale. And release this pose. And when you come out of this pose, you're going to come to your back. And from your back, you're going to lie down on your back. You are on your back, sorry. You're going to remove this, whatever you have here. If you have the blankets or bolster, remove them out of your way. Maybe move them to the bottom of your mat now. And prepare for banana pose. So we don't want this here yet. We want to put them on the side. But lie down on your back. Stretch your arms all the way overhead. Point the toes. Flex the feet. Point the toes. Flex the feet. Keep the feet flexed. Clasp your hands. Turn the palms away. And lengthen your body. Lengthen on the right. Lengthen on the left. As if you're waking yourself up from sleep. So stretch your body. Full body stretch here. And then simply walk your arms to the left. Walk them not too far, just a little bit to the left. And with your left hand, grab your right wrist. Feel that stretch in the right side of your body. And then from here, walk your feet and legs to the left and either cross your right foot over left or left foot over right. Just see which one works best for you. We won't be holding this pose 5 minutes, only 3. But now I want you to be aware of what's happening on both sides of your body. The left side of the body is compressed, especially the spine is compressed on the left. On the right, it's stretched. So be aware of that. And again, think about the cycles. Think about adapting to whatever is. And see if you can deepen this bend on the left without injuring yourself. You don't want to overdo it. You're also deepening the stretch on the right. And take those deep inhales and exhales. This is one last opportunity to inhale fully and exhale completely in the poses. So when you're in the pose and you're doing those deep inhales and exhales, you're directing the breath, like I said about the river earlier. It's like sending the flow of your river in that direction. In this case, we're sending the flow to the right side of your body. Bring your right ear to the right shoulder to deepen and to feel maybe a gentle stretch on the right side of your neck as well. But both shoulders are on the floor. See if you can release all tension here. When you inhale, fill up the right side of your body as much as you can. Feel as though you're creating spaces. You're preparing the body to open up. You're preparing the body to blossom, to bloom. You're preparing the body to go through a renewal. And maybe imagery shows up for you. Maybe you see your life as it renews itself. Maybe you're able to observe what renewal looks like to you, what renewal looks like in your life. So we're coming to the end of this pose. You might want to start taking those deep inhales and exhales. And one more inhale and exhale. And slowly start releasing this pose. So you release by returning to center. Stretch your arms overhead, point the toes, flex the feet, clasp your hands, turn the palms away. Full body stretch here, inhale and exhale, and then slowly start moving your arms to the right. And then with the right hand, grab your left wrist, stretch, lengthen that arm. Feel the stretch on the left side of your body. Walk your legs and feet to the right. Cross either your left foot over right or the other way around, depending on your body makeup. You might like one version more than the other, better than the other. But start here, start gently, feeling a compression on the right side of your body and a stretch, tension on the left side. And see if you can use the breath to enhance, to add to that stretch, and also to create spaces so you can compress a little bit more on the right. So your breath is your medicine, your breath is your weapon, your breath is your balance, your breath is your thermometer, it's your barometer, it's your compass. The breath is everything. So allow the breath to show you the way. A lot of times we think that we're leading the breath, but if you let the breath lead you, you'll be able to come to that place of stillness much easier because you're really not doing anything here. You don't want to be doing. people say, I'm trying to focus, I'm trying to relax, it's like the trying is what's blocking your way. You need to stop trying. Follow the breath, adapt, adjust, and be ready so that when the renewal happens, when the time comes for renewal, you won't be left behind. You'll be ready, open and ready. So keep taking those deep inhales and exhales. Again, see if you can fill up your body with every inhale. You're filling up especially that left side of the body. And exhale. Notice if you're still holding on to tension and let it go. Notice if you're still hanging on to thoughts and let them go. Deep inhale. Exhale. One more. And release the pose. And come back to your back. And prepare for the stirrup pose. We're going to be in stirrup pose for about 3 minutes. So lie down on your back. Bend your knees, bring them to your chest. So start here. And then reach with the hands, reach for the outer edges of the feet. And press the feet into the knees and the knees into the armpits. And if you need to rock side to side, you're welcome to rock side to side. Just at first. Until you find your groove. Soles of the feet face the ceiling. Push those knees into the armpits or into the floor. And then come to stillness right here. So for some of you, the knees are going to touch the floor. For others, the knees aren't going to touch the floor. That's perfectly fine. But you want to keep your gaze up to the ceiling, unless, of course, you like to turn your gaze to the left, and then in a bit, you'll turn your gaze to the right. I'm turned this way just to look at you, to look at the camera. But what you want to do is try to do half on one side and half on the other side. So again, here, the stretch that you're feeling should be in the groin. You should feel a very nice groin stretch. And for the remainder of this pose, if you like to stay in stillness, just stay here. If you feel that you'd like to do a little bit more in the stirrup pose, you can. One thing you can do is to roll over to one side. Keep your hands on the outer edges of the feet though. So roll over to the left, for example. Stretch your left leg as far as it can go. And if you want, you can roll over a little bit more, bringing your right foot to the floor or to the left arm. You can stay here a little bit, feel the stretch in your hips, in your glutes, and your lower back. And then you can return to center first. And then if you want, you roll over to the right, and you can stretch your right leg out. See, I have the altar here, so I'm not going to be able to do much with it, but here we go. I'll bring my left foot to the floor. So you can do that and hold it also for a little bit or a long time. You can stretch your legs out like this. This way you feel the stretch in the hamstrings and the glutes. You feel the compression in the hips, the hip joint. And then from here, Bring the legs together, bring the knees together, hug the knees, lift your head, maybe take your forehead towards the knees, so rounding the back one more time like we've been rounding in that fetal pose. Rock side to side if you want, or forward and back. We'll end our practice with an inversion for about 3 minutes as well. So from here, stretch your legs up towards the ceiling. Arms can remain by your side, or you can stretch your arms overhead like this, or you can clasp your hands and place them under your head. For some of you, you might like to place your hands under your hips. And when you do that, if that's what you do, you want the thumbs to touch and the index fingers to touch like this. You create a delta or a diamond shape with the fingers. And in this case, when you place your hips on top of your hands, the sacrum will be right inside this diamond shape, right inside this triangle. Okay, it's either a diamond shape or triangle that you're making with your hands, touching your thumbs together and your index fingers together. So sometimes for some people to keep the legs up like this, they need support. So you can place your hands under your hips like this. You can use the block or the blanket that we've been using or the pillow, place it under your hips, whatever works for you. And if you're doing this for the first time, a lot of times the legs shake a lot here. I see it a lot in classes. And I jokingly tell people no one I know has died of this, and it's true. But at the same time, I want you to be aware that this is an inversion. So you're upside down. So if you have any condition that doesn't allow you to be upside down, please don't do this pose. Glaucoma comes to mind, blood pressure, high or low, especially if it's unmedicated. And any other condition that you know of that doesn't, do well with an inversion. Otherwise, you want to be here. You want to close your eyes if possible. Simply exist in this inversion. Forget about the legs for a second. Keep thinking about renewal and what it means to you, and where in your life you need renewal now more than ever. And see if you can bring, at least mentally, bring that renewal to your life already, and just picture your life. Imagine what your life will be like if you're already renewed in that way that you'd like to be renewed. Take a deep inhale and exhale. And one more inhale and exhale. Release this pose by hugging your knees to your chest and rock side to side. And rotate your ankles in one direction and the opposite direction. Rotate your wrists in one direction and the opposite direction. Clasp your hands, turn the palms away, release the legs to the floor, flex the feet, lengthen, full body stretch. Inhale deeply and exhale, and release for Shavasana. So for your Shavasana, take all the time you need to be really comfortable. I'm going to be doing a full body awareness exercise with you in this Shavasana. So Shavasana will be a little bit longer than usual. So if you're using a bolster, you can place your bolster under your knees like this, or a pillow, of course. You can, if you want to, place the blankets on top of the pillow as well. And this way you have a higher support for the knees, so you can still do this. And notice that I'd like for your heels to be on the floor. Remember that sensation I was talking about earlier, being aware of your surrounding, trusting your surrounding, trusting yourself. A lot of times, in order to let go, it's important to feel the heels on the floor as we release into Shavasana. So today, I brought in my eye pillow. And let me see, we'll do 5 minutes here. And I'm going to play the Om sound that we started with when you all came in. And I'm going to lie down with you in that. But for now, lie down on your back, full body awareness, like I told you. Feel your heels on the floor. Feel your knees on the bolster if you're using a bolster. If not, just feel your legs on the floor. Feel your hips where they touch the floor, where they land on the floor. Feel your whole back, the spine, the shoulders, your arms, and your head. Turn your palms up towards the ceiling. Squeeze every muscle in your body. Squeeze, 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 and release. Squeeze and release. And be aware of the tips of the toes, the soles of the feet, the heels, the ankles, the calves, the shins. Be aware of your knees, kneecaps, and space behind your knees. Be aware of your thighs, your hips, your groin, the inside of the legs, the outside of the legs, back side of your legs, and the front side of the legs. Be aware of your spine, your abdomen, your chest, your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists, your hands, your fingers and fingertips. Be aware of your facial muscles. Give yourself permission to simply let go of all tension.
Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And very gently start waking yourself up. Reintroduce movement to your body. And give yourself a full body stretch. Then hug your knees and rock side to side. And roll over to the left side, your yin side, and hold this fetal pose for just a few breaths. If you prefer to stay longer in Shavasana or take a nap here, or those of you going to sleep right now, like Bulgaria folks, you're welcome to just do whatever feels right to you. I thank you for your presence and for your energy, and I'll see you all tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and next week at the same time, 3 p.m. Eastern, Sunday. Thank you so much again. Have a wonderful rest of your day and night. Bye-bye.